Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, folks. This is Nathan Chua again, coming to you from the Philippines, and I hope all of you are doing well. I've got some good news today. I got an email from YouTube last night, and it seems like we've hit 100 subscribers. So since I started this, reviving this channel this year, I think it's been about a good part of this year. I finally made it to 100 subscribers. And thank you for all of you who have subscribed to this channel. And I hope you do enjoy uh, my blogs or my vlogs. And this is also going to be in a podcast format on Spotify. So, and it's not a big set of subscribers, but for me, it's quite an achievement. Okay. So thank you, YouTube, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. And I do get a lot of views in some of the videos that I post. And hopefully, for those who have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. All right. So again, I'm Nathan Chua. I'm broadcasting here from the Philippines. I'm a counselor since I've been a counselor since 2009. And this is my, let's say, third or fourth year into contextual behavioral science. So for those of you who are new here, this is a blog post. My website started off as a blog, and now since I found the kind of technology that I needed, that's affordable, I'm able to post this also as an audio recording on Spotify and a video on YouTube. I'm very thankful for these media. All right. So, okay. So today's topic will be who really needs counseling? Why is there a stigma against mental health issues? Okay, or mental health concerns. I know marami sa inyo, mga Pilipino, you do have fears about people knowing that you come to therapy either as an individual or as a couple or as a family. And a lot of you, would would rather like it to be confidential, and I understand. And it's quite, let's say, understandable that this is happening because the system is set up where, yeah, what the researchers in contextual behavioral science have kind of introduced to me, and I guess to the world, is that the way it is set up right now, the mental health system kind of works in a way where a big bunch of people are supposed to be normal, and then there's this little tiny group of people who are struggling with their mental health, and they need attention. So what else would you expect? I mean, you are part of the minority who seem to be having trouble dealing with your mental health. So thus there's a stigma. Okay. So enough of the introduction. Let me read to you what I wrote today. So I'm writing this in the hope that we can soon find ourselves disabused of the ways our current mental health system has set us up to think about who needs help in their journey towards better life skills. This post is going to include a personal account of my learnings in the field and how elated I am to find my reservations affirmed by a group that believes in empowering people rather than casting them as one of those unfortunate ones who need correction. So that's what I just explained earlier. I remember back in my graduate training days, I was introduced to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health or Mental Disorders. The professor appeared very learned and quite self assured that he knows the manual by memory. I really felt like an idiot compared to how he was able to diagnose a case accurately as one of the exercises that formed part of the lecture that day. In my mind, I thought this person must be a genius. The text we were using was even entitled a simplified one, and it was already more than 500 pages long. The actual DSM manual is even less reader friendly with more clinical language. And mas mahaba pa. I told myself, I just want to be a helping person, a counselor. Does it really take a photographic memory or an incredibly fast reading speed to become one? Moreover, as I read through the required textbook, I noticed how each syndrome or diagnosis ends with a segment that indicates a mental health disorder that is not otherwise specified. So, besides having to remember each symptom in a list of more or less 10 items, I also have to recognize the ones that cannot be found in the list. So, Dr. Hayes, Stephen Hayes, once joked that, someday that DSM book is going to have thousands of pages because we'll never end up with enough of these not otherwise specified categories of diagnoses. Each diagnosis can be made if a client shows around five of these symptoms, four or five, or maybe five or six. And voila, you got yourself a diagnosis. And off you go to your counselor or therapist or to the local pharmacy to take the medication that will address your symptoms. And as I read through each of the bullet points, I noticed that for almost every set, I could identify with a few of them. I could, at any given point in my life, be a person with a narcissistic or borderline personality disorder. I just miss out on one or two of them, and then I can breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that I don't have that disorder. So ganon, parang, I look through those categories or those symptoms. And sabi ko, parang ako ito this looks like me. I mean, sometimes I'm like that. Sometimes I'm kind of moody. Sometimes I kind of want attention and all that. So I told myself if this is the way I should do therapy, then I don't think it is something I would find enjoyable. What's worse is that I see clients who have used such diagnoses on hand and eventually use them as excuses for their behaviors. Furthermore, it is used to cast blame on other people for not making room for their symptoms or weaknesses. In other words, I can only change if others change the way they treat me. Couples out there, sounds familiar? Diba? I can only change if my spouse changes or my partner changes. And that includes the way my therapist handles me. So if my therapist can't handle me, then it's his problem. He probably doesn't know how to treat somebody with borderline personality disorder. So it's a problem of the therapist, not me. People all around me have to adjust, you know. So that's kind of like an offshoot of this kind of system where people are put into boxes of categories. In their work in contextual behavioral science, a group of researchers have found this system to be unhelpful or even harmful. The group proposes that what we need is a system that uplifts people and identifies what people do that creates problems in the way they behave in society. Their research has brought to the fore the idea that all of us, no exception, need therapy. The metaphor used here is that of how preventive medicine works. We don't recommend a healthy diet and adequate exercise only to those who have already shown signs of high blood pressure or high cholesterol in their systems. These practices are for all because there are certain processes that our bodies go through which are universal and can be addressed without having to wait for trouble. The same is true with our mental health. We need a regular diet of therapy or behavioral flexibility skills that we can practice in order to create better lives and relationships. Sadly, because of these models of disease and symptoms, many come to therapy rather late in the game. People wait until their lives become stuck. I am no exception. I have seen my relationships destroyed and precious time unwisely spent on struggling with mental processes that are otherwise part of being a normal human being. It's time to change. It's time for a change. It's time for us to pursue this path and see if we can get better results in the lives of many. All right. So, uh, this is a quite a personal blog post for me or personal video for me, and I feel sad that it took me this long to discover something like contextual behavioral science, but at the same time, I'm doing my best to help people understand that it's never too late to seek therapy, to seek help, either professional or otherwise. Look for the right material out there that can help you any which way you can. You know, get self-help books, but be more discerning. Look around, try it out. If it's not working, then try something else. So I've tried so many things in my 14 years of counseling, and I really learned that to be, uh, you know, improving in the lives of others and also my life, I need to be a critical thinker and see if what I'm learning is really, or I learn from my experience. I learn from my own life. I learn from the ceilings that I hit um, when I try an approach to therapy that I think is useful. And if I hit a ceiling, I try to find something else. We don't know if contextual behavioral science is the best science out there right now. There are other sciences uh, that are worth our consideration. And I'm just, open. I if I hit a ceiling here, and you know, I'm willing to study anything or go through even my own therapy to get to understand how, you know, something could be life changing and help me in the way I move through my journey in life and also my relationships with the people that are important to me. Okay. So thank you for listening up to this point. And please do visit my website, onelifeonly.net. And hope this was kind of helpful to you. I'll try to make it a more practical uh, blog next time. Today, it's more like well, I'm actually thinking this is a practical thing to understand because a lot of people want to stay away from counseling because of the stigma. And I think this is a good way to kind of change that culture for us to be more open about trying to figure out how it is to handle our minds and live better lives. Okay? So please like and subscribe. And thank you again for the 100 subscriptions. Uh, I'm very, very pleased to have at least 100 people subscribe to my channel. Okay? So you take care now. Enjoy the rest of the week. Bye bye for now.